Hi everyone, welcome back to Clipping for Coupons with Hallie. It's a little bit cooler here in CT today, so I thought it would be a great day to go ahead and start the crock pot. And I have some items here that I picked up at Dollar Tree yesterday. I went ahead and I picked up some beef broth. I also picked up some salt-free seasoning and also some Worcestershire sauce. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Um, and I have some other ingredients that were already on hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making some beef stew meat in my crock pot. I do this a little bit differently than others. I really just make it how the hubby likes it. He's really the only one that eats it. So I just put in what he likes into this recipe, but you guys can tweak this however you want. So what I usually do is I start with beef stew meat that is already chopped up from either Stop and Shop or Walmart. Whoever has it at a cheaper price and it looks best, that's who I will get it from. So right now in my crock pot, it is still a little bit frozen, but I'm going to make it anyways. I have a little less than 2 pounds of the round stew meat, and this was about $5 a pound. So I went ahead and I have my crock pot on right now, and I have it set to low for 8 hours, and I have the meat in there. The first thing that I'm going to do after I put the meat in there is add my beef broth. This is from Dollar Tree. It was only $1. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour this in here, and I'm going to use the whole thing today. I like crock pot meals because they seem to be less mess, and they are super yummy. And the reason why I'm going to use this whole thing is because I am going to make this into like a thicker broth right before it's done. And you guys, this is a 32-ounce package from Dollar Tree. So we have our 2 pounds of meat in there. It is still a little bit frozen, but that's okay. It's going to thaw out while it's cooking. And I also have my 32 ounces of the natural flavored beef broth. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my potatoes. Right here I have about 4.5 diced potatoes. You don't have to do them in any order or cut them a certain way, however you would like, and the size that you would like. You can definitely do however you want. Mine, I did a little bit bigger this time, but I'm going to go ahead and just place all those in there right like that. So we have our beef broth, we have our meat, and now we have our potatoes. I am also going to be adding today some baby carrots. I have these here from Stop and Shop. These are peeled baby carrots, washed and ready to eat. I'm going to put about half of this package. This is a 16-ounce package. I'm going to place half of these inside of here. And this time around, I'm not going to cut them. I'm going to leave them just as they are because they are baby carrots. Okay, so we are adding our carrots. We are also going to be adding some onions and peppers. And I have this frozen bag here of onions and peppers. This is from Stop and Shop. This is about $2. And I'm going to place half of this package in there as well. This is a 16-ounce package. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, and then we will place it inside of here with our carrots, potatoes, meat, and our beef broth. Okay. Here they go. They are all chopped up for us already. So I would say about a half a bag of those. And then next I am going to add some of this Italian seasoning. And this is just, you're adding to your liking. I never measure any of this out. The Italian seasoning does not have any salt in it, so I tend to go a little bit heavier on the Italian seasoning. So I'm just covering the top of everything that I've already placed in there. Okay. And sometimes it looks like a lot when it's up top, but right before we close this and get ready to cook it for the day, I'm going to go ahead and stir everything in together. Next, I am going to add some garlic. This is from Walmart. I always get the one in water. They do have some in oil, but I only have like maybe a tablespoon and a half left of this, so I'm just going to place the rest of it right in there. Okay, so I just added the garlic, and I would say it's about a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons worth of garlic. And if you don't have any of this right here, sometimes I also use, hold on, I'm getting it. Sometimes I also use this as well. So it's completely up to you. Whatever you guys have on hand, make things easier for yourself, especially if you're not used to cooking or if you don't like to cook all that often. Whatever is easier for you guys in the kitchen, make sure you do. I find that it's easiest for me to get onions and peppers already chopped. That's just one of my things. So whatever works for you guys, make sure you do it. I only have, let's see, 2 other things I'm going to be adding in. I'm going to sprinkle some of this salt-free seasoning, and we've never used this before. This is our first time, so I'm going to be definitely trying it out. And here are the ingredients. It has garlic, onion, carrot, black pepper, citric acid, crushed red pepper, parsley, and lemon oil. So 0 sodium. There's already some sodium in here because of the beef broth. So we're going to leave it at that. And we're going to add some of the salt-free seasoning. And then I'm also going to put a good tablespoon of this right here. Okay, so here we go. And you can be a little bit more generous if you would like. I usually put about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. And here goes our salt-free seasoning. I'm not sure how it's going to taste, so I'm only going to use just a very little bit. But now we have all of our ingredients inside of our crock pot, and now we can go ahead and mix up our ingredients, and then we can get our top on and we can wait. I'm going to cook this for about 8 to 8.5 hours. I always make sure that the meat is pretty much falling apart. That's how I tell when it's done, and also the potatoes and the carrots should be soft. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all mixed up, give you guys one last look, and then we will wait the 8 hours, and I'll give you a quick look how it's going to look before I add some cornstarch and make the gravy a little bit thicker. Okay. Remember, my meat is a little bit frozen. If your meat is not frozen, you'll be able to mix it up much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until it thaws out a little bit, and then I will come back and I will frequently stir this. So as you can see, they are all still stuck together. But just mix it up, make sure the seasonings kind of get around on all sides. When I'm pouring stuff in here, I usually just kind of pour it with the intent to mix it later. So we went ahead and we added all of our ingredients. We have our seasonings, and we mixed it up as best as we can because the meat is still a little frozen. But now we're going to go ahead and add the top to this, and then we're going to go ahead and wait. And then I will give you guys a sneak peek. I'll see you in just a little while. All right, so we have about 3 hours left on our timer here. I still have it on low. I like to keep it on low the entire time so the meat does not become rough or tough. We want it to really be savory and just fall apart. So I am going to go ahead and open up here our slow cooker, and we are going to check on our beef stew. Okay, so here it is, and we're just going to stir it around a little bit. And remember, this is a pretty thin gravy that's in there right now. And to thicken that up, what you do is you wait until everything in here is completely done. Now, I usually cook this for about 8 to 10 hours. Really just depends on the meat and also what I put in it as well. And cooking times always vary by slow cooker. So something that might take my slow cooker 8 to 10 hours, yours might be completely done in 6 to 7 hours. So you really have to just watch it and stir it every once in a while. If you are doing this and going to work, just make sure that it's on low and set the timer on it, and it should be perfectly fine for you. My slow cooker has an option where when it's done cooking on low, if the timer goes off and you are not here, it will remain on warm. So your food is still nice and warm, or hot, I should say, when you come home from work. So what I normally do is cook to about 8 to 10 hours. And when this is done, I do combine a couple tablespoons of cornstarch with an equal amount of water, and then I stir that separately, and then I add it into the pot here. And what that does is it will make it a thicker gravy. Right now it is very liquidy. We have that whole beef broth container in here, and the meat and everything else has created its own juices while it's in there. So this is not quite done yet, but I did want to finish up this video and get it out for you guys. So when this is done, if you want to thicken up your gravy, again, you're going to combine a couple tablespoons of cornstarch with an equal amount of water. So if you put 4 tablespoons of cornstarch, put the same amount of water, mix it separately, and then go ahead and add it into your beef stew. Once you do that, I would say let it cook for an additional 5 to 10 minutes. Let that gravy thicken up a little bit, and you'll notice a change in color as well. And when you are done with that, you can spoon this over mashed potatoes, white or brown rice, or also maybe some buttered noodles. Those are some options that you can have with this. And I'm not quite sure what we're going to have with it yet, but we do have both rice and noodles and potatoes, so who knows. I already have potatoes in here, so when I do that, I don't like to spoon this over mashed potatoes, but it's all about personal preference. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to allow this to cook for a little while longer. We have our timer still set. We have about 3 hours, and then I'm going to come back and check on it, and then I will make our gravy a little bit thicker and then let it cook for about 5 to 10 more minutes, and then we should be good to go for dinner. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and comment. Subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click that notification button so you do not miss out on a single video.